welcome to the Curation Corner, a show about curation of posts on the platform. I'm Shadows Pub, here with my co-host Artemis North, and our guest today is you, the community. We'll be talking about what curators should look for when curating posts. It's an opportunity to learn how to improve your posts. Welcome, everybody. How's
Hi.
everybody today?
Great.
How are you, Artemis?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you? Are you still living after your Steamiversary party?
Yeah, I'm still speaking. I must be living. I don't think I'm too good at getting here from beyond the grave.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing.
Yeah, I thought it was good to know. Yeah, it was only 30 minutes of snook time.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like Doctor Who, but she's Dr. Snook.
Ooh, that's almost scary.
She's the time goddess.
Isa says 30 minutes equals 3 hours.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. We'll have to figure out the ratio on that.
What do you got for us today, Shadows Pub?
Well, I did a little bit of looking around on the web and, on the platform. And I come up with a few people that I think need some notice. Did you find some people that needed notice?
I sure did.
You did?
I did.
I wouldn't be too surprised if some of our audience has found a few too, so we'll just see how many show up, and if we end up going longer today, we'll go longer. That's just the way it is.
That works. But the difference between this and Pimp Your Post is you have to tell us what's so wonderful about the post.
And it can't be yourself. It has to be somebody else. So you can't pimp your post today. You can pimp somebody else's and tell us why you think this person needs more attention on the platform. So, Artemis, why don't you lead us off?
Excuse me, one.
I've got the cat. You've got the hubby.
Apparently it's a business call, but I'll just talk over top of them if you guys don't mind.
That works. Oh, I got a feeling he's being told. Oh, there we go.
Maybe just a little. So Cleonella, I hope I pronounced that name properly, did a really awesome art post. I don't know if it's male or female, so I'll just say they. They told us about a Russian proverb, which was actually really.
And we'll just give her a moment there to train her husband.
Oh, I was talking to you, and I forgot I was off auto. Sorry about that. How much of that did you get? Did you get any of it?
We heard about the Russian story.
Okay, awesome. Well, basically, he or she goes through and applies it to their own life, which is really nice to see something personal come out of an art post, and then describes why he or she created what he or she did. So it's the snowboarder flying out of the hot green summer into a cold Russian winter, and the process that was shown was really good.
I think that we've got a lady here. The avatar is female.
Thank you. I wasn't sure.
They said it looks female to me. That's an excellent process. And I love the concept, out of summer into winter.
And I really love learning about the Russian proverb, something I didn't know.
It's always nice to learn something that we didn't previously know. So, how long has this little jewel been on the platform? Joined in February of 2018. And by the looks of the rewards on the posts, definitely could be using some more attention. So you might want to take note of that person.
Oh, definitely. And she's been producing some really nice work. Actually, what caught my attention with her was a previous post where she was drawing orange cap boltus. It's a type of mushroom. I can't pronounce it properly, but she taught me a little bit about that, and then went into her drawing process and used beautiful colors in the other post as well.
Yeah, she's got some beautiful stuff there. So check that one out. It's KleonElla for those watching us on the stream. And I best check. Yes, the stream is up and running.
Well, while you're doing that, do you mind if I pop the link up for her other post that drew me to her?
Go ahead.
There we go. And look at those colors. They're just phenomenal.
That is really pretty.
Yeah.
So I think she could definitely use some love.
All you need is love.
We just had this discussion in Buddy Up yesterday.
Yeah.
And it, again, shows the process and does a good job of showing it. With some commentary. Very cool. All right. So let's give someone in the audience an opportunity who's got a post they want to share or somebody they want to bring to our attention. Okay, Snook. Give her a moment there to drop the link. Oh, she had it right ready.
I was ready. I read the post 40 minutes ago. This is a post by Ben, BYN, and it's how to make a birthday cake, but it was really hot out, and it was for a children's party. So she made a cookie birthday cake. And I like it because I like the idea for one, because it's a lot easier to do. And she explains that in there. She gives out the recipe. And then if you scroll down, she gives you step-by-step pictures of how it was done.
This
But
is really good.
isn't that a rite of passage for, a youngster to be able to bury their head in the birthday cake?
Well, yes, but usually I know a lot of people that buy like a smaller birthday cake. But even if you have like a 2-year-old birthday party, and this was his second birthday party.
Oh, well, they've already had the rite of passage.
Right, exactly. But how much easier would that be with small children or even adults where you could just go over and grab a cookie? And I thought it was really ingenious that she made little bugs and all kinds of stuff on there.
The decorating on it is phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah.
And Eagle Spirits just commented that she got a small curie on it.
Oh, did she? She didn't when I looked this morning.
Yeah, I don't see it there.
I mean, it's only 61 cents on there.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you talking about the previous post, Miss Nomer? Or Eagle Gnome?
Oh, what you shared. Well, that's good.
I think what Ben did here is ingenious. So much less mess and hassle. What a perfect birthday cake. And look at the bright colors. That's all they want. Give me the
Yeah.
cookie. I'll lick the icing off.
Right. Yeah. And then she made it for adults that would be there. She made it like she put little ants around the candies and stuff, which it's just I thought it was ingenious, and I thought that the post itself, because it shows the process, really turned out nice.
It did.
And it should have more than 61 cents on it, I think.
Yes, it should. So,
I
Ben's
agree.
been on the platform. How come I can't see how long she's been on the platform?
She's been on a while,
Oh,
almost
there it is. Her background is kind of obscuring it. October 2017. And by the looks of the rewards, she does need some more attention.
Yes, definitely. She's a great writer also,
Mm-hmm.
on top of it. But this was one of the, I mean, her graphics, she does her own, and they always catch my attention. But this one with I like the idea of the cake.
It is. It's a very clean approach to it.
So what have you got, Shadows?
Oh, I'm just tossing something onto the stream so that people can see who we're talking about. And let's see. Actually, some of these I've got are kind of people you probably should notice, not just because they're not getting enough notice, but for example, I've got this fella, Taskmaster 4450. Now, he actually gets some fairly good returns on his posts, but one of the reasons I'm bringing him to your attention, if you haven't already noticed him, is that he writes some really informative posts about the platform and about cryptocurrency and the blockchain. And this one in particular that he posted talks about the hive mind, communities, and SMTs, and ties it all together with probably one of the best descriptions I've seen yet of what this is probably going to look like when these are released. So I think this is a good one to give a good read to.
Oh, this does look really good.
Yeah, it's very well laid out. And he's projecting that not only will it change how we experience the platform, and that, right now, if we're on Steemit and we go to DLive, you've got to log into DLive. If you go to DSound, you've got to log into DSound. What he's saying is that once the hive mind is in place, you can move from one community to the next one. Well, it'll all be one community, but one platform and app to the next one without the need to log in. It'll just recognize you. And he's also projecting that this could eventually become the norm on the platform given enough time. Or not on the platform, on the internet.
That would be really nice because that logging in and out really is pain.
It is. It can be a real pain.
And it's really nice to read something written by someone who knows what they're talking about and gives us some hope and some fresh outlook for the future.
Yeah, really nice not to see somebody who's just slagging the platform that nothing's going to work. And Eagle says that he's been one of her mentors, great writer, and he's always positive. Okay, anybody got something they want to share? I see
Sure,
Kitty.
I have something.
Okay, Azaria.
Okay, so each week I have my art contest or my music and art contest that's run by my cat Snibby, and this person always enters such amazing art, and it's always very low payouts, and it's surprising to me. It's usually a little creepy, but it's shocking, I know. But it's interesting because she does like claymation kind of stuff, and it's like a clay dolls, but then she mixes it up with digital art and then sometimes painting. So it's very original and strange, and I like it. So I usually to try to help her out. But the payouts are usually really low. I've noticed that a lot with a lot of art, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I wonder, does she create those models or does she just paint them?
No, yeah, she creates those little, they're like little clay dolls.
Oh, there we
And,
go. If you scroll down the page, she's got a animation of I guess that you
yeah,
can say her process.
yeah.
Yeah, it is her whole process. That is excellent. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. She's one of my favorite artists on Steam.
I need to get her on coffee hour.
Yeah,
Yes.
I should. You know what? I'll mention it to her. I think she's from,
Germany.
yeah, so I'm not sure how well her English is, but I'll mention it to her.
She joined in January of 2018. So she came in during the influx when the prices were up.
Yeah. She's still sticking it out, so that's good.
Yep, absolutely. Got to encourage that.
That's some talent. Beautiful. Thanks, Azaria.
Thank you.
Looks good. Okay, Artemis, we're back to you.
Oh, back to me.
Yes,
Okay.
back to you.
Well, here's somebody I found. They get a decent payout. Not huge, but, good is good. And this was kind of hopeful and very inspiring because he's basically practicing on a drawing tablet. He's just learning. And I love where he says, none of us could walk on the first day we were born. It gives us hope and encouragement. And it reminds us of the years of practice. Oh, and can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. It reminds us of the years of practice and actual training that the masters had to go through to get to where they are. So if you read through this post, and I'm not going to give too much of it away, at the end, this isn't giving it away, this is just something that made me giggle. A friend says there are no rainbow pooping unicorns, just a hard-working mule, and you're it. I just giggled, but really, this is good, and it made me laugh, and it gave me hope. So I think this is a great post.
I love that comic. This artist I admire is so amazing and majestic. They make it look so effortless. But I'll never be that good. I have no idea what I'm doing. Hey, kid, come here. I want to tell you a secret. I also have no idea what I'm doing. That's one that we need to print out and stick up on our walls.
Agree with that.
Yep. So Leopla has been on the platform since August of 2016. Why have we not found this person sooner?
Right?
Yep.
Just so much. There's just so much to look at. But good does pop out at you eventually.
Oh, for sure. And I'm passing these on to the chat in the stream so that people can check them out.
Oh, good.
Well, the names anyways, they can go check the names out. All right. So we're back to our audience. If our audience has something that they want to share. Okay, Snook, go for it.
Did somebody else have one?
I said, Snook, go for it. There we go.
Enchanted Spirit writes these astrology posts, and they're really well formatted, and they're very, very educational. But they get very low payouts. And she's really well known, so I don't quite understand the reasoning behind the low payouts. Because they're well formatted, everything.
I suspect some of it is that Enchanted Spirit has a tendency not to promote herself. But you're right. She writes some beautiful stuff. Not only her astrology posts, but the ones on the cat. Is it the Weasel's Wife? Is the other account that she writes on?
Yeah, yeah,
And they're beautiful posts. They're very well done.
yeah. Well, she needs to start, or other people need to start finding her.
Yeah.
Does she ever come in to pimp your posts?
No, she would not.
And another thing I've noticed about that niche, Steam, it just isn't big enough yet, and I have faith that it will be, because I know a few months ago I was writing about tarot cards and things like that. And there seems to be a very small group of people that are writing about astrology and things like that. It's just not a big enough market yet. Yeah.
So
You're
far.
right. Yeah. It's the same with the needlework community. It's
Yeah.
just not big enough yet, but it will be.
Right.
Well, maybe somebody could suggest to Enchanted Spirit to, start like a curation kind of a thing.
You know what? They have something called Tarot Tuesdays, and that could, even though it's not about tarot, it's still in the same ballpark. So, but I don't know if anyone has a specific trail. Oh yeah, there's Behind the Veil. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Is that a?
Crazy BG Adventure has that Discord that he's opened.
But he hasn't been around in a while.
Yeah, apparently they're having some really rough weather in his area, and it's keeping him offline.
Yeah.
So Sarge says he's having trouble getting into the voice channel. Nobody else obviously had trouble joining. Or
No, that's odd.
yeah, that's really odd. And he's going to listen on DLive, so he's not going to be completely out, but he probably had some people that he would have liked to have talked about.
Yeah. I wondered who Sarge was.
I have to say, I'm enjoying your big awards for the shit comments. I've seen Snowcracker and Shadows. I've seen it. Good.
Bluefin saw one yesterday that I put on a post, and he says that's now his favorite.
Yeah.
Sarge said he fixed it.
That's somebody that should be gone to GoPro.
Well, funny you mention that. Give me a second. Because he's one that I also had on my list. In fact, I had him next on my list. And while we know him best because we came across the shitpost series that he wrote, he's also recently written, actually I think it was yesterday, he wrote this one. It's long. Get a cup of coffee, maybe a very large cup of coffee, and sit down with this one, and you will know by the end of it everything you need to know about cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and the what did he call that now? Proof of time investment that you can do in order to be able to grow in the crypto world. It's very well written. He probably could have done it over about 3 days, but he did it all in one. So sit down with a really big coffee and have a look-see at it.
I read this one
really
this
good
morning.
post.
It was a really good post. It was well worth the read.
Oh, and the link didn't come up in the right browser. There, now we got it. There we go. And he's been in here to Pimp Your Post Thursday recently, and he's just a hoot when he's here.
Oh yeah, he's funny.
got an excellent mind when it comes to the platform, and those are the ones that we really need to know more of and pay more attention to. We can find all kinds of people that are, sky is falling type posting, and that's not what we need to move the platform forward.
No, we need a lot more positivity
Definitely.
because there's so much room for growth. There's no reason, okay, so the price is down. Well, that's a cycle. It's going to go back up.
One of the neat things about it moving with Bitcoin, it's frustrating when Bitcoin goes down, but in all likelihood, we're going to see similar patterns to what we've seen with Bitcoin, where Bitcoin will go up, it'll take a drastic drop back, and then it'll move up and it'll move past where it went before. So if we see the same thing, steam following along, we're going to see a gradual increase in value on our investment.
Well, it already did that once, didn't it? In your post, didn't you say it was, 87 cents at one point?
7.
Or 7 cents? Well, it's never dropped back to anything near that.
Yeah, when I come onto the platform, it was up around $4 or so, and it was all that new rush. And then it worked its way down. It got down to about 7 cents each, and then it's come back up. And it really hasn't gone below $1 yet.
Oh, wow. When you joined, it was 4?
Dropped to 7.
Wow.
Came back up in January to 6, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And it's come back down. It stayed up above $1.
I bet a lot of people left after that 4 down to the 7 cents thing.
Yeah, there was people that left then. There'll always be people that leave when it drops.
When did you join Shadows? Back in 2016, wasn't it?
Yes, 2 years ago this past Sunday. You missed the party.
There was a party.
I never get invited to shit. But
Well,
I wouldn't invite me to anything, actually.
Actually, Sarge, where were you Sunday evening?
I'd go to my sister's house, and we're not going to go into everything, but there's like a lot of stuff going on. So
Yeah. Well,
I've been
Snook,
really busy.
Snook contacted me and asked me to spend 30 minutes on D-Live with her, and her 30 minutes became 3 hours, and people just dropped in, and it sounds like you weren't even around, so sadly, you missed the party. It wasn't because you weren't invited.
No, I feel bad. I don't spend as much time on here as I normally do. There's just so much going on right now.
Yeah, well, you've got to look after family. No question about it.
Well, I ain't running this time. Normally that's what I do. I'd run. They say that fight or flight thing, but I think I'm gonna hang around and box a little bit.
Sounds like a plan. So, who's got something that they want to... Another one.
What, you want a shit post? Let me show you.
No, we don't want no shit posts.
I got a good shit post. It's a funny one too.
We don't want shit posts, and you can't put a post up that you've created.
I've been leveraging D-Mania, but no, I do have a post, and I have to go look for it, but...
Not one that you've created.
No, this is not... When the hell have you ever known to be this self-aggrandized? Well, every great once in a while, but... No, this is Curation Corner, and a curator I've been talking to you all about, and... I'm gonna know him through one up there. But anyway, this Kalaju fella that was so sick in Korea, I want to share one of his posts if I could.
Okay. Oh, Snook has put one up there. We'll get you. Oh, this is bilingual, right?
Yeah, it's an old post, but I wanted to show people. I think the best way to do a bilingual post. It's so much easier to read when you can just go straight down the line on both sides instead of the blocks. So the payout it's too far. You can't vote on it, but it's really just the way it's formatted.
That is a nice way to do it.
It is.
Yeah.
She does
Not
some
to be as,
beautiful. She does some beautiful pictures. And the other thing here, she had originally done a post where she had used a great big long post with a whole different birds all the way down. And it was kind of suggested that maybe she do posts focusing on one bird at a time, which she did this time, and I think it's a much better effect. She's done it bilingual. She's done the side by side translation, and the pictures are focused. You can use more of them for each bird. So I'm looking forward to this being a series of posts.
yes, I'm trying. That's all I can say.
Yeah, sometimes we can overload our reader, and sometimes it's probably better just to give them the data in smaller chunks that they can digest and then return for the next round.
And I'm sorry, Sarge, I didn't mean to jump in front of you.
He's holding that for the next time we come back to the audience. So, Artemis, what do you got?
Well, I have a kind of a treat for me. Hopefully it is for you too. She's a fellow knitter, and she's I got the poop. Oh,
You
wow.
got the poop.
It happens. So she's a fellow knit group junkie like me. She's only been on the platform since June, and I've rambled her once already when she first came out. She was very promising. And I love that she shares her history of how she became a knitter, how she really didn't like it, walked away from it as a kid. Then in the 80s, it became, kind of the fashionable thing to do in Germany. And she went back to it, and, she just talks about how she got her sewing machine and nothing really in particular until one day she went into a yarn shop and found out they had a knitting group. And she started going. And I think the one thing that she said that really flies with me is she says, often we talk on a more personal level than with friends. And that's really true. I thought this was a really great post. The formatting needs a little work. Yes, it does. And I'm assuming possibly English is a second language. So she's done really quite well, I think.
Definitely. Discord's
Yeah,
bound and bent. They're going to give us poop emojis today.
that's okay. It's a picture of an older lady sitting there. It's a stereotypical grandma sitting there in it's a black and white drawing of her sitting there knitting. She looks like Queen Victoria. You're not
Yeah.
missing a thing.
The better picture actually comes further down in the post when we've got the nice colorful knitting.
Yes.
And she does do some beautifully colorful knitting.
Oh, I love the colors. Just
Yeah.
gorgeous.
No question about it. So how long has she been on the platform? Let's just have a look here.
Just since June.
Very nice.
And she does some fairly nice posts, and she does a nice variety of posts.
I see she does some in German as well as English.
Yeah?
So she's working towards both communities. She may you may actually want to leave her a comment at some point and suggest the side-to-side translation so that both communities can enjoy her posts.
Oh, I'll just send her a link to, maybe I'll drop it in a comment because I'm rambling her. So I guess cat's out of the bag. I haven't got my ramble finished, but she's in it.
Good stuff. Thank you. And got that link, Serge? Oh,
Huh?
you got that link you were looking for?
Oh, the one from Kalamazoo? Hang
Yep.
on a minute.
I thought you were looking for it. That's okay. Go ahead and grab it.
No, I just have to switch windows.
Hi, Maine. How are you?
Muted.
I think he can unmute himself. He's maybe set up for voice activity and it muted him. How you doing, Maine? Oh, he's lurking. Okay, well, while Sarge is looking at for that, this is one that. Oh, there we go. So tell
I
us about this
really,
fella.
I really like this guy, Kalaju. Kalaju is probably lives in Korea. He just recently got out of the hospital. He had very bad stones that were blocking part of his gizzards and everything. He was in bad shape, but he's doing better now. They had a fundraiser for him. I was going to do a fundraiser, but you know me, the best laid plans of mice and men. And I'm an idea guy, and then I like to delegate. I'd rather have other people do it. I just come up with the idea, and you all have that. But anyway, uh, Kalaju, he's a curator. And I mean, he's an awesome curator. He's a funny curator. He does a lot of his curating on D Live. They've also started a web page that I talked about before. I should have had the link so I could have shared it with you. Anyway, great guy. He and Deranged Visions. You guys know Deranged Visions. Uh, they're very good friends, and they're working together on their initiative here with their Steam podcast for everybody webpage that they have going that I shared before. But here he's got a little prize thing going. You know, would you rather? That's pretty cool, and
All
that
right.
shows you how it works.
So Kelaju has been on the platform since September of 2017, and he does some fairly regular posting. He also is the brains behind. If you look down on my post, you'll see it on some others. An initiative where you can do review me, and you can review people as to, how many stars you want to give them. It's kind of a fun little thing. It's on most of the link is on most of my posts where you can go and put that in the comments. So he's an active Steamian, no question about that. Thanks, Sarge.
And
So,
he's so funny. If you look at some of his older D Live videos and where he's curating live, he doesn't like flowers.
that's nice. Thanks, Sarge.
It's funny.
Do you know
So,
what I like?
what's that, Artemis?
What I'd like to point out about this post, this is a contest post, and some contest posts have big write-ups for their first one, which is great. But when I see a contest post, I love it when it's laid out like this. I just want to drop another link and show you another really good one.
Okay.
These ones here are another perfect example. We know that this contest is going on, and it comes out to give us an update every week. But there's also a link there that we can go and read all the background behind it. And I love this format. It makes it so much easier to keep track. You need another detail. Uh-oh, I think I forgot something. So you refer back to this post, and it keeps you going. I love this.
Oh, is that the Steam Monsters art one?
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
that.
Would Azaria be the one behind that post?
Yeah. Thank you. I'm so glad that you like the format because you know what? I always wonder. I feel like my formatting, like that's something I need to work on.
No,
Oh,
and
thank you.
I love the graphics you've used in it too.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
it really catches your eye, and it's so well organized, and it's easy to refer back to.
Oh, good. Thank you. That makes me feel good because I was feeling bad about my posts. And you know the graphics in there. You know who did a lot of those is Calamam.
Yep,
He's
from
done a
Buddy Up.
really yeah. He's done a great job with a lot of Steam Monsters graphics. So, and he's helping me out every week. So that's awesome. Thank you
Good,
so much for showing me.
great
Can
stuff.
I have something along that same line of context.
Sure.
What I liked about this one, I don't know why it's not coming. Is the fact that I really hate it when you have a contest post and you have to go back on links. And like you were saying, you can just go into the same post and see what you're supposed to do. And in this post, I think the bottom is a little messy, but I like the fact that she actually shows an example in each post when she does it of what she's actually looking for and describing the contest.
Yeah, this is another good one, and you could refer back to it. It's well laid out. You can go right back to what you want to look at.
Yeah, you don't have to go 7 posts back.
Yeah. And that is the way to lay it out when you're going to do a contest, not make people go hunting.
Right. That's one of the things with comedy open mic. I like comedy open mic, but you have so many links you have to click on to find the the and they have a lot of rules you have to follow. So it's easier if it's all in that same post.
Right. So this is one that it's not so much about curation, it's about witnesses. This is a post that started in April. It comes out every single day, and it provides regular information on witness status, including the number of active witnesses, those who have missed blocks, those who have stale price feeds, and missed block, the rates that they've missed blocks, and the top producers and new witnesses. For example, the most recent one, I just learned that Kevin Wong, who's been on the platform for almost since the start, has just become a witness. So that's a post that you probably should follow on a regular basis, particularly on the stale price feeds. You see the same witness showing up there on a regular basis. You might want to ask them why they're not getting their price feed up to date, because that is one of the responsibilities of a witness.
This is a great resource, and it's so well laid out and easy to follow,
Yep.
simple to figure out.
And there's no politics about it. He just lays out the information, and it goes from there. And it just came up in the wrong window, so I'll send it to the right window so that it actually gets recorded.
So, who else has a post they might want to share? Tell us about.
I have another one.
Okay.
Really want to listen to me talk for?
Yep.
Well, first of all, this post is hilarious, and it's by our kitty girl, the kitty girl. But what I really liked about it was it's kind of an ongoing story that's been going through PYPT, and at the end, I loved, and I actually I took a screenshot of it because I loved how she did her sources at the end. I just it fits and it flows with the whole post.
Yes, it does.
And that's probably the best source thing that I've actually ever seen on the end of a post.
Kitty Girl always does an amazing job on her posts, and every time you see something a little different, and you go, "Wow, that's cool."
Yeah, yeah, and I like how she did them in order of if you really want to follow along, here are the links. But the story itself, you didn't need to really go back, and it was still a good story. But I was really impressed with how she did that.
Yeah, it was an absolutely excellent post.
And I love the disclaimer underneath the sources.
Well, yeah.
The events related in the above story are purely fictional, I think. Any reference to actual persons, living or deceased, is purely intentional. No zombies, gnomes, or fairies were harmed during the construction of this narrative. If I have omitted anyone who played a role, please inform me. I may have had too much coffee to drink. And then she's challenged Bluefin Studios and the Hive to participate in the comedy open mic.
That post was epic. I laughed so hard I fell off the chair, literally. I did.
I think a few people
even
did.
got in there. They had me in there. It was so funny. I tried to get Team Good to vote on it, but you really should, before the payout's over, change one of your tags to Team Good. And then I can go ahead and nominate that thing and get Team Good to upvote it. Because I went over there to get them to upvote it, and they said, "Oh, you got to have the Team Good tag."
Yeah, they only upvote when you actually use the tag. No, actually, they don't, Maine. Basically, they're just trying to bring good stuff to the forefront, particularly good projects.
Yeah, do that, Kitty, and do that yesterday. So I got in trouble. I put that in there for a nomination. It's like, we only accept posts with Team Good tags. I'm like, oh, sorry, honey. But anyway, yeah, do that, and I'll go ahead and nominate that, sweetie. I got a little bit of pull over that way.
Okay, so this is one. This fella normally posts with a lot of photos. This particular post he didn't. This is 56 North. And part of the reason was that he was visiting the museum for Anne Frank in Amsterdam. And they don't allow photo taking inside the museum. So what he did in this post was he told the story of Anne Frank and his visit to the museum. And beautifully written. He's someone that anytime I've taken a look at his posts, I've been just blown away by the photographs and the detail in the commentary that he puts alongside of it. And I don't really think he gets a whole lot of attention, but he definitely could use some more.
You're right. 56 North never ceases to amaze me. Not only is he a photographer, typically you get artists, and artists aren't always the best when it comes to writing, but this is the whole deal. He's excellent.
Yeah, he is. He's the real deal on both sides of the coin. And I've been dropping the names of these people we're talking about over onto the stream so that those who are watching can join us and maybe give these people a little bit of support. And I do thank those that are on the stream for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
So Artemis, you got any others?
I do, actually.
I thought you might.
This one is Feel Good Doodles, as far as I'm concerned. And it's fairly brief and to the point, sort of a post. Shows us the hilarity of our doodles. But what really blows me away is there's one paragraph, doodling on my travels, and in that one little paragraph, I learned that this person travels a lot, has a real passion for art, and they're a very busy person because they're always traveling a lot. Okay, that sounded really weird. It sounded better on my note, but then I wrote it backwards. But I think you get the gist. But if you look down through, and you look at the thought processes of these doodles, like look at the little family of branches hanging at the base of the tree, and it's called hide and seek. They're just gorgeous, and gives us a little update and says, wow, this is a real artist who has a display happening in New York.
And there's one that didn't really need a whole lot of explanation. The person hanging out of the eye and the booger hanging out of the mouth.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, kitty girl, I should have read my note backwards. I just thought that.
Currently has a selection of drawings for Doug Carr's novel, Dwelling uh, the novel's name is Dwelling. It's on display in New York at the Crypto Renaissance exhibition until August the 15th. So if anybody's in that area, you definitely want to go and have a look at it.
You will smile, if not laugh.
Now, this is a person who's been on the platform pretty much from the start, July of 2016.
And she does fairly well. Ophelia Fu is an interesting name, which kind of rolls off your tongue as well. So it's easy to remember. Ophelia Fu.
That's quite the drawings.
Yeah. And
We
then
have such an array of talent on this platform in all genres, whether it be arts, music, writing. The challenge is we have to find it in amongst all the really bad stuff that's there, or not so good stuff.
Yeah, not
And
so good.
that certainly takes some time.
Speaking of,
Yes.
well, that was a little.
Oh, Trust General Gnome.
I read this morning, and there's a couple things. One, I love that you are doing ULOGs because you write in a different way when you do them, and I really like that because they get a little bit more personal and about what the way you share things. I really like your formatting in general because you like you like things very neat and tidy, and you actually resize. I don't know how you do it, but you resize your pictures so that it's like the same size as the paragraph that you're putting it next to.
Actually, I don't, for sure.
How do you get them that way?
Well, the ULog posts that I do are actually created in one of my WordPress blogs. So the sizing actually is set up by WordPress for me, and then it carries over here to Steam.
Because I really like I like that. I like that look.
The one thing that I have found though is, and it's a little bit on the frustrating side, but anyways, when I try to move the graphics to the left and to the right, which is what I kind of like to do, the paragraphs that I actually have don't fall into place. So the only way I can get them to fall into place is I put the HR tag in, and that creates a paragraph break, but it also puts a little wee fine line between the paragraphs. But I figure overall it pays off.
Well, I was going to mention though, then instead of using dividers, that you do use the HR, and that little line, even though it's not real noticeable, it is enough that it kind of breaks up the different, so it makes it actually easier to read.
Yep. And that's the reason I put the HR in.
Right. I really like that. So it doesn't, so I guess that was the other thing is that you don't necessarily have to use dividers I love my dividers. I'm not gonna change using dividers, but this is another way of doing it.
Yeah, there are times the dividers are effective, but this post wasn't one of them.
Right, exactly. But yet it still needed to be divided up with larger spaces in between.
Yeah.
Because if you would have put a divider in there, it would have detracted from the flow of reading it.
Like I'd be inclined to use a divider if I talked about different subjects.
Correct. Yeah.
And this was actually all on one subject, so I wasn't inclined towards the dividers, so the HR lines ended up coming in there.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, that was it was it. I like the divider thing in there too.
And speaking of your U-Logs, we haven't really talked much about steam press. I think maybe it could be beneficial to some people. How are you enjoying steam press, Shadows?
I like it. I actually only use it for the U-Logs at this point. I probably should use it when I do the random ramblings. I'm not inclined to use it for, the posts about the radio shows.
And how come?
Well, for one thing, there is a beneficiary that comes out on the payouts on the post. I think it's about 15% or something. And a lot of times when I put the notices up for the radio shows, they don't get much payout, which I don't worry about because, they're to notify and promote the shows. So I'm not worried about that. So I kind of want to do it when there's probably going to be a little better return on the post.
So the beneficiary, I'm assuming, is steam press?
Yes. And I don't, I don't begrudge them that. They've put a lot of work into it, and they've opened up a huge market for Steam in the sense that any WordPress blog out there can now cross-promote to Steam it or Steam.
I think 15% is really quite reasonable.
It's very reasonable. And I find that there's very little adjusting that I need to do. There is a footer that a kind of end piece that I normally put on my posts that I don't put on unless I edit it once it's on Steam it and then put it on. Because I find that it doesn't move over as easily. And a lot of that is because the footer is set up with Markdown.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I tried it out once. I should actually use it a lot more. But I found I had to come back into Steam it and fix a few things.
Well, what I've found, and this is one of the reasons why I've kind of given it just U-Logs, is that as you know, I write my posts in Scrivener. So I'll go into Scrivener and I'll write the post to just straight text. And then I'll copy that text over to the WordPress post, and then I'll go through and format it the way I want to format. So then it's a fairly clean transfer then.
Oh, I see. Do you find that you have to, what sorts of things do you find you have to straighten up on the blockchain when you post with SteamPress?
The main one, and it's really minor. When I put the YouTube link in WordPress, there's an embed tag that goes into it on WordPress that shows up as embed over here on Steemit. So I just go into edit and remove it, and you're good. It's there.
Oh, that's simple.
Yep.
So really, there's not a lot of messing around with it. They've really streamlined it, haven't they?
Yeah, they've done a great job with it.
And now you can use another account name as well, can't you?
Yes.
That really opens things up.
Yeah, I know HTML, Kitty Girl, and I have thought about it, but I've just sort of left it be. It's just easier just to drop it in once I bring it over here, because the footer that I'm using is really not relevant to people coming in on WordPress. I actually go back to writing posts or writing websites in HTML before WordPress ever existed.
Okay, here's a somewhat tricky question, possibly. I didn't realize that Steam accepted HTML. I thought it was just Markdown.
It's limited. It's very limited in the HTML that it'll use.
So just the basics,
pretty much.
Which is what we're doing in Markdown as well, though. We're
Yes.
just doing the basics.
Yeah, with what's available in HTML, it's pretty basic. And then of course very limited as far as CSS. Like the div tags, those are all CSS, but you can only use certain ones. CSS being cascading style sheets. And yes, I was around when those first came out.
Careful now. long? How long have you been on the internet? I think longer than me.
Well, I put the bulletin board system up back in 89, 90 maybe.
Yeah,
And then I went from, pardon me?
It was you that got me into BBSing.
Yep. And then I went from the BBSs onto the web. So I've been on in one form or another since at least 1989 or 90.
Yeah. I've been on the actual internet, I think, since 93.
Yeah. That was kind of fun building that bulletin board system.
Those were fun. You want to talk about curating? Holy doodles. Everything was
That is for sure. So, we seem to have run the full shot today. Kitty Girl says she's used BBS back in 1984, even had my own little BBS for a while. So Kitty Girl was a little bit ahead of us. I set up a bulletin board system for a magazine in Toronto called PathNet that was running for a while. They were one of the first to go into that type of electronic communication.
Seems to me that magazine published some of your writing.
They did. I did some freelancing for them. So, Artemis, I took us in. You can take us out.
Okay. Well, I think this has been a really interesting edition of the Curation Corner, and it was a lot of fun to have it with the community. So hopefully you'll come back next week, and we don't know who our guest. Oh, yes, we do.
Inside Outlet from ASAPers.
Yeah, that should be fun. So thanks for joining us, everybody, and go forth and have a great week. And don't forget, in an hour's time over on the Steam Engine Discord is the Talk of the Line. So have a great week, and everyone go forth and steamiate.
And all being well, Crazy BG will be here tomorrow at the same time as we were today and be doing the Steam Adventure.
And don't forget Words with Witty on Friday. Is it at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock?
2 o'clock. Eastern Daylight Time. We'll see you all then.